I'm going to show you what not to do with a filter that has a pressure regulator built in. The company will tell you not to do this, but the thing is, I tried to buy one without a pressure regulator and I looked for over an hour online and I could not find one. I looked locally, I could not find one. So I was looking for a filter with 200 mesh or 75 microns, and they all had pressure regulators. So here's what we're gonna do. Because when I hooked it up to my system, my emitters stopped working properly, not enough pressure. So I'm gonna just take this part off so I don't wreck it. And then I'm gonna try to drill out the pressure regulator from inside there so that there's unrestricted flow. Let's see what happens. To be clear, I already have a pressure regulator on my system, and so I don't need multiples. Here we go. Aha, I just felt it bust. I got it. I broke it. I've never been so glad to break something in my life. There are the little pieces of my pressure regulator that I never wanted to begin with. Now I'm just reaming it out, you know, doing the whole wiggle thing. Excellent. Okay, the thing is, now I have all these tiny pieces. Now that I'm seeing all these tiny pieces, I'm realizing that I have a ton of tiny little particles inside of here, which would be really bad for my drip and micro spray emitters. So I'm gonna have to really flush this out well and make sure I'm not introducing any of those particles to my system. I've rinsed it out a bunch of times. Let's do another high pressure rinse and just see if we're free of particles. It's important to do it at more than one angle. Looks clean. I think I'm good to go. Let's look at how to reconnect it. You gotta always check for the arrow, make sure the water is flowing in the direction of the arrow. And then if I were just to connect this in line with my other filter, I'd have some problems because it would break. I need some flexibility in the line. So I'm gonna add this little flex hose so that there's not as much pressure on the line. And then because the filter is made in pipe thread for whatever reason, I'm gonna need to go ahead and adapt it to garden bib. So I've got a nice little brass adapter for that. I'm gonna run this without the filter installed at first, just to flush it out some more in case there's any little burrs of plastic from the drilling that I did. Okay, let's flush this out one more time. Okay, now we're gonna add the filter. Nice thing about this particular brand is that it's the same on both sides, so you can put it in either way, and it's super easy to take out and clean, which does need to be done on a regular basis, depending on how much sediment you have in your water. Okay, now I'm gonna flush it with the filter in place. Just see what we're getting. Oh man. And I have some little black specks of plastic. So that is problematic. Those could plug my emitters. It means I'm gonna have to do some more flushing. So like I said, I'm showing you what not to do, but this is an option that I'm trying because I couldn't run my system with an additional pressure regulator. I think it was probably a manufacturing issue, really, because it shouldn't matter how many pressure regulators you have, right? If none of them are below a certain number, the pressure shouldn't get regulated down below 30 psi, for example. So I don't know, but I really want just the filter, so I'm trying. But I'm gonna have to flush it some more. Well, I have filled up this bucket a few times, and I'm at a point where I'm seeing no particles, so I'm gonna consider this to be flushed out and ready to go. I'm gonna go ahead and hook this up to my irrigation system and give it a test run and see if the emitters are now able to work properly. Fingers crossed. Oh yeah, this is good pressure. Mission accomplished. I'm not sure why I'm so surprised, but it actually worked. Yeah! And this is what used to be the pressure regulator. Just a little hunk of plastic.